Hey, did you know Hypelet Store makes the coolest merchandise just for you? Place your order today as everything is 50% off and get completely free shipping no matter where you are. HypeletStore.com, there's a bit of everything for everyone. I'd like to ask you to leave a like on this video and join that notification squad by hitting the subscribe button. Also comment down below when you do so and we'll do our best to reply to as many of you as we possibly can. The award-winning TV series Game of Thrones is one of HBO's biggest hits ever, and despite being the most pirated show of 2017, it still attracted a record viewership. Based on George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series of fantasy novels, it tells the story of 9 noble families fighting over the 7 kingdoms of Westeros, while an ancient enemy is getting ready to return after thousands of years of dormancy. The series has been running for 7 seasons, with the next season sadly being its final one. As Arya Stark actress Maisie Williams revealed in an interview, Season 8 could be coming in spring of 2019, and as with every other season of the show, multiple alleged script leaks have been circulating on the internet, with the release date coming closer. The unverified predictions describe the possible fates of many of the series' characters, so if you want to find out what could potentially happen, what kind of plot twists could be waiting, and don't mind potential spoilers, then get ready to have your mind blown by these 10 Game of Thrones Season 8 leaks you will not believe. Fans always expected that Lord Peter Baelish, aka Littlefinger, would eventually have to pay for the crimes he perpetrated in the shadows against the Starks and the 7 kingdoms over the years. The moment finally came when Sansa and Arya executed him and put an end to Westeros' great manipulator, who single-handedly ruined the Stark family. However, the reunited Stark children face an uncertain future, with Winterfell being right on the front lines of the Great War with the Night King. If Sansa survives, will she continue to rule Winterfell when the truth about Jon Snow was revealed? And will Arya continue down her path as an assassin? And since the 2 Stark daughters have become fan favorites, viewers would be sad to see either one or both of them killed in Season 8. But one thing is for sure.
There must always be a Stark in Winterfell.
One Reddit user claimed that a leaked page from the 3rd episode of the next season described a scene where Brienne, Podrick, Sansa, Arya, and Tyrion racing away through a crowd of whites in a wagon driven by the Hound. When the wagon crashes, a Dothraki blood rider who had turned into a White Walker boards the wagon and kills Podrick. Now, we're pretty sure that nobody wants to see Podrick dead, but we all know that sadly that's exactly what the show does. You fall in love with a character, well, don't do it. A rift between the Lannister twins has been coming for a while, as Jaime has slowly grown a conscience over the seasons, while Cersei has become even more malevolent as queen and plans to tighten her grip even more on the Iron Throne. We saw Jaime eventually abandon Cersei to head north and fight against the White Walkers, and according to alleged leaks of the 5th episode in the next season, Cersei has Jon Snow imprisoned in King's Landing, which prompts her and Jaime to argue at the Red Keep. Jaime is trying to convince his sister that Jon Snow is not the enemy, but the White Walkers are. Unsurprisingly, Cersei will not hear it and blames her brother for not supporting her in her time of need. Apparently, Jaime is trying to convince Cersei to release Jon, while she already plans to defeat the White Walkers by setting King's Landing on fire. Sounds familiar? This would mean that the White Walkers make it as far south as King's Landing in the series last season, but keep in mind that there are other alleged leaks that suggest differently. Although a lot of previous leaks, including some major plot twists, did actually happen. Another user on Reddit described several other plotlines that were allegedly leaked. According to one, Daenerys Targaryen takes over King's Landing, while another one claims that she and Jon Snow arrive in Winterfell, where Northerners are only reluctantly accepting her as their queen. Yet another leak sees Euron Greyjoy coming back to King's Landing with the Golden Company, the greatest army of mercenaries on the Eastern Continent. According to this leak, Cersei orders him to take the army to Storm's End. She did send Euron to Essos to hire the Golden Company in Season 7, where she also mentioned to the Ironback's representative Tycho Nestoris that she needs the army to retrieve some things that belong to her.
Do you really think Euron Greyjoy turned tail and sailed back to the Iron Islands?
And by things she could be referring to Sansa as well as Tyrion, whom she still blames for the murder of Tywin as well as Joffrey, despite knowing that Lady Olenna was the one who killed Joffrey. So Cersei might be sending the Golden Company to capture and bring back the former Mr. and Mrs. Tyrion Lannister in order to get her revenge. two characters that have crossed paths in earlier seasons and are expected to reunite in Season 8 are of course Arya Stark and Gendry, the well-liked blacksmith from King's Landing who made his last appearance in Season 3 before finally returning in Season 7 to team up with Jon Snow in an expedition beyond the Wall. In the books, there is a slight romantic element to Arya's and Gendry's relationship, and he is the only one that Arya can trust at one point in the series. But while young Arya had a crush on the blacksmith and even told him that she could be his family, Gendry is quite aware of their different social standings, saying, "You wouldn't be my family, you'd be m'lady." Viewers know from Season 3 that Gendry is actually a bastard son of the now dead King Robert Baratheon, who overthrew the Targaryen dynasty and took over the Iron Throne. We also know that the children he believed he had with Cersei were actually all fathered by Jaime Lannister, and although they have all died since, it doesn't beat the fact that they were never the rightful heirs to the throne. Fans will be aware that bastards can be legitimized, so could Gendry be legitimized by Jon Snow in Season 8 when Jon finds out that he is actually royal in order to form a new Stark Targaryen Baratheon alliance? One common theory is that Bran Stark will face his demons by encountering Jaime Lannister in Season 8. Jaime was last seen leaving King's Landing and heading north to meet with the Starks. But Reddit users have been speculating that Bran's and Jaime's reunion will be rather troubled, since their last meeting was in the Game of Thrones pilot episode where Bran discovered Jaime and Cersei in the tower. And as the boy witnessed the queen cheating on her husband with her twin brother, Jaime threw him off the tower, leaving Bran paraplegic. Fan theories believe that the two will meet in this setting once again, with their first encounter since the attempted murder sparking conflict. But while Jaime may be richer and more powerful, Bran does have the powers of the Three-Eyed Raven, so it is hard to say how the situation will turn out. In addition to this, since he became the Three-Eyed Raven, he does play the role quite nicely and doesn't actually behave like Bran, so just something to look out for. Something else fans have been awaiting eagerly for years is of course the clash of the Clegane brothers. Since Season 8 is Game of Thrones' last season, it is also the show's last chance to finally bring us the final confrontation between the Hound and the infamous Mountain. The Hound abandoned the Lannisters and fled King's Landing in Season 2, while the Mountain has been Cersei's loyal bodyguard after being killed by Oberyn Martell and reanimated as Sir Robert Strong by Qyburn. Fans know that the scarred face of the Hound, as well as fear of fire, stemmed from a brutal beating by his older brother when he was only a child, and although the Season 7 finale only saw a single exchange between the brothers, it was still enough to hint that Season 8 will see a final fight between the two, with the Hound walking up to the Mountain saying,
"You're even fucking uglier than I am now. What did they do to you?"
The entire Game of Thrones series has been building to the Great War against the Night King, and many expected it to start in Season 7. Instead, that season ended with the armistice and the war going on in the Westeros between Cersei and Daenerys, while the majority of Westeros agreed to unite and send their forces to the north to fight the Night King who brought down the wall with Daenerys' undead dragon Viserion. We already knew that we would have to expect a lot of people dying in the Great War, including many of our favorite characters, and the HBO show's production team has basically confirmed this. The channel's senior vice president of drama, Francesca Orsi, teased Season 8 while appearing on the Best of HBO panel at the INTV conference in Israel, where she stated, "The table read was a really powerful moment in our lives and our career. None of the cast had received the scripts prior, and one by one they started to fall down to their deaths." While this sounds like a true bloodbath, Orsi also hinted that there will be 3, 4, 5 spin-offs, which are expected to air after Game of Thrones is finished. Season 7 finally revealed who Jon Snow's real parents are, as he grew up believing that he was Ned Stark's bastard son. Viewers are now aware that he was born as Aegon Targaryen, the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark, which means that he is the true heir to the Iron Throne. Sam Tarly and Bran Stark as the magical Three-Eyed Raven confirmed this in Season 7 finale, but neither Jon nor Daenerys, who are now romantically involved, are aware of the fact that they are actually nephew and aunt. However, the two will undoubtedly learn of their kinship in Season 8, and we can surely also expect to find out more about the mysterious past of Rhaegar and Lyanna, the infamous tournament at Harrenhal where they met, and why Jojen and Mira Reed were sent to help Bran become the Three-Eyed Raven. Other questions that the show's final season should and most likely will answer include how this affects Jon and Daenerys fighting side by side against the Night King, as well as their personal relationship, and of course, Daenerys' bid to become Queen of Westeros when Jon is in fact the true heir to the Iron Throne. It is impossible to say at this stage if the leaks are actually accurate or not, with the release date of Season 8 still about a year away. HBO are obviously trying their best to keep all details under tight wraps, so as always, none of the reported leaks are from an official source. Though, as we mentioned, leaks from previous seasons have proved to be accurate before. However, HBO President of Programming Casey Bloys has confirmed that the showrunners are shooting multiple versions of the ending for Game of Thrones, so that nobody really knows what happens, and there will not be a definitive answer until the end. So the leaks could be fake to throw people off, but we will know for sure if the leaks are real or not when the final season is officially released in 2019. Then we will finally find out who, if anyone, will survive Season 8 to see the long winter end and spring begin. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you're new. Also, don't forget to turn that post notification bell on so you never miss our uploads. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.